Join me once again in welcoming director Anshul Chauhan and actor Shogen. We've just seen something very, very serious. So the guys have asked that we have a little levity, if possible. And you have a chance to provide levity because we will ask that you write out your questions on cards. There are runners on both sides. Please raise your hands and they'll bring you cards to do that. And while you're writing out your questions, I'll just have a brief discussion with our two guests. Welcome again to New York.
Thank you.
I had said in the quick introduction when we started that it's very interesting that this is a representation of what's going on in Japanese film, very slowly but surely. Anshul is not the only foreign director living and working in Japan and making Japanese films, but this is still a film that's, of course, very Japanese, about a very Japanese situation. Can you tell us why you chose this particular subject?
Okay. So first of all, thank you everyone once again. And to answer your question, sorry. So the first draft was written by my close friend Rand Coulter. He lives in Osaka, and that script could be adapted to anywhere in the world, like court system. But so to make that film into Japanese court system, we have to do we started to go for the research, and I started to attend high court sessions in Tokyo and meet lawyers and judges and all and take notes. And the same time, we go.
Can we have more volume on this mic, or we could switch? Let's see if that works.
Have to more close. And so the mic is a problem. And so yeah, I forgot.
So
okay,
Rand
sorry.
Coulter,
Oh, yeah, sorry.
who is a Canadian actually based
yeah,
in Japan.
He used to live in
wrote-
Osaka.
Yes.
He just left Tokyo actually, Osaka. So yeah, he gave me the script like maybe a few years back, and at that time I thought it's kind of a really big project, and maybe I can't, maybe I won't be able to make this because I didn't have resources, and because at that time I was working as an animator in Tokyo, and but I made like two very small budget films, and I thought this is something which I can't do. But because of my second film, Kontora, I kind of attracted some investors' interest, and they asked me, what do you want to make next? So I thought, okay, this is something which I can make. So after that, we started doing research and everything. And at the same time, of course, the backstory, the bullying part and everything. So that is inspired by my own, personal life, because I was in military academy for a long time and I went through a lot. So for me, that was the attraction to make this film. And also, there are very similar cases happen in Japan. And so of course, we took inspiration from those stories. And right before we started to shoot, like 2 weeks back, before the shoot, there was an exactly similar case happened in Aomori Prefecture in a high school when a high school kid stabbed his classmate, and then the same thing happened. So yeah, we had a lot of inspirations from the real stories, even though I didn't mention in the film that it's based on real stories, but it is kind of, roughly. Yeah, so that's why I got, inspired to tell this story, because it connected somewhere deeply with me and Rand also, who wrote the story.
And you also brought in one of your old friends to work on the film with you.
Yeah.
And Shogen, you look so much better in real life.
Thank you.
What was going on with you there?
It's hi everyone. We've known each other for a while because I watched his film from his first feature, and I'm the big fan of his film. And we always talk about, let's work together one day. And it happened, for this film. And the first thing he said, because I did a boxing film called Jensen Punch before this film, so my body was ripped, and even after the film, I kept doing that, and I got 8 packs and stuff. And the first thing he said was like, "Oh, you have to gain your weight." And he did Photoshop me, and he sent me the picture, and you got to be like this, He was like a little chubby and it's all beard, and yeah, and then that's what I did. Yeah.
Actually, just before starting the shoot, he got COVID, and he was stuck in a hospital.
2 weeks.
Which city you were in? Oita, right?
Oita prefecture is down
so
south.
he and one of the producers, Yamashita-san, they both got COVID, and they were stuck in a hospital for like 10 days something. And there, I think he got into the character with beard, and he got sick. And right after we start shooting the films.
But the food from the hospital, they're always to serve healthy food. So I couldn't lose my weight. So I asked a nurse to get little bread with the milk, and I ate a lot of stuff and try to gain my weight.
He also drank a lot.
Yeah, that's.
Drank a lot of fluids, of course.
I put
whiskey.
No, I wasn't allowed to drink in the hospital. Of course not.
But I gave him the whiskey flask, like kind of 1 month before, as I keep it, and I gave him this green jacket, so he was wearing that always walking around, and he used to fill the whiskey in it and keep it and sip like whole day, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I was a katsu, actually.
Method acting. Yeah.
If you say so, yes.
Well, you look sort of perfectly awful. I mean, awfully perfect for the role.
Now, or?
So, oh well, okay, that's another story.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, it works in the film, and those of us who have known Shogen for a long time were impressed that he pulled a Bob De Niro there. So, yeah. And also, you used to wear, like you had him wear his costume, which is not his usual style of dress either, for a couple of weeks before shooting.
Yeah. Just so that he can get used to that, and like live with the costume. I think that really helps actors to get into the character. Yeah.
And he really was wearing it. It was pretty embarrassing for you.
Yeah, it helped a lot. And he gave me a music list, and then like the songs, the music, which make me depressed, and loneliness, and those kind of lists he sent me, and I kept listening, and that helped a lot too.
Yeah. I forgot the artist's name. I don't know, something towards till the end. It's like a six hours long track, and he designed this album around dementia patient, for the dementia patient, a kind of depression and dementia. So I gave it to him and told him, you have to listen pick any day, but you have to listen to it at one go and just lie down and just listen. So
yeah,
I guess
suicidal kind of is.
Well, it certainly works for the performance. It's really great performance.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's go back to the to the film. Tell us how you were able to pull together this kind of international team and shoot. And of course, as most of you know, the budgets in Japan are much, much lower than in the US. So you probably had a very short shoot, but you have amazing locations.
Yeah, so when we talk about micro-budget films, in Japan, it's actually micro-budget film. It's not like they say Moonlight is a, indie film, but $1.4 million budget. That's not the case in Japan. And she mentioned about the international team. So my DP, Peter Moen Jensen, he's from Norway. It was his first film. And then the whole camera team was, international team, then me. And it was not a short shoot, as in like my first film was shot 13 days, second film 9 days, So for this one I had like 28 days because, my budget.
That's luxury. That's real luxury.
Yeah, that for me, I think, yeah. I could shoot a lot. So I had a lot of footage. So yeah, that's why editing took a bit longer than usual. Like so, but yeah, I think we had a very very small team. Like literally, our core team was like 6 members on the set all the time. So that was a team, and I like to work like that way, like keeping everyone like a really small team, so that we can focus on the performances more. And yeah, I think that helped us to achieve this film, and it was made with a lot of hard work and passion, I would say. And just before the shoot, actually, every one of us got the, COVID, including me and all the actors and everyone. So we had to push the shoot a little bit, but I think that made us more passionate about, okay, we have to finish it now because we lost a lot of budget because we booked the locations and all, we had to repay and everything. So we really went shot the film we went a little crazy, I think, by shooting the film. Yeah.
And Shogen, did you spend a lot of time with this wonderful young actress who plays Kana, the monster? Did you spend a lot of time with her on the set, or
No
did
way.
you purposely? Yeah.
I didn't even talk to her, really. I mean, it was on purpose though.
Yeah, they were separated.
Yeah,
shooting.
even the waiting room were totally separated. But she's a nice girl, and when she comes to the set, she always say "Ohayo gozaimasu." It's in Japanese, just good morning or whatever. But I was always just that's it, So but at the end, what was the last scene? It was the scene we confront together.
Yeah.
There's a scene I confront, just face to face. That scene was the very intense scene, as you see. After that, I gave her a big hug because it was the last scene for us. Then she she cried and she was like she really thought I hated her. Yeah, and I was like, no, I'm sorry, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, yeah, so it's intentionally, yeah, we did.
Yeah, and same thing happened with Sumiko, the Megumi-san who played Sumiko, and she never even looked at her in her eyes the whole shoot. And there was one scene when she comes to talk with her in the prison, and I said action, and they were acting, but in that moment she had to look, but she was still not looking. I said, no, you can look, it's fine. So yeah, so it was really intense. That day was shooting when they first looked at each other, and because in the courtroom they were just looking from the corner of the eye, or so yeah, it was very interesting to see them acting and looking at each other first time. It was really hateful.
And very powerful scenes, both of them. Yeah. Let me turn to your questions now. Thank you for making this very impressive and provocative film. Why is the English title December, which is, of course, completely different from the Japanese title, which you should probably explain.
I wanted to keep the same name in Japanese, in Japan also, but the distributor said, oh, we should, in Japan, we like to say what the film is about exactly. So I was like, okay, so they kept
So what's the Japanese title?
It's called Yurushi, like forgiveness. I was like, okay, it's fine. But December is because the first pre-trial which happens, so in the prosecutor, he talks about what happened in 7 years before. So the day she killed, Kana killed Emmy, it was for, I think, December, 16 December, I think. So and from there everybody's life changed. So it's because of that, the name is December.
Okay. When translating the script, how did you make sure that each character's voice was preserved? And were there times that you felt the original script was compromised to make it more, this is very interesting, internationally accessible?
Okay, so as I mentioned before, the first draft was written as if it can be shot anywhere, So we adapted it to Japanese judicial system after visiting courts and all and meeting lawyers. And then we got on board 2 actors, both of them, Sato and the prosecutor. They both previously played the characters of lawyers in a stage play. So, and one of them I have worked with before in my previous film, so they are a close friend of mine. So I got them on board as a dialogue translators. So yeah, and we made sure, like, especially the courtroom language is proper, because there you cannot improvise. So yeah, that one we consulted with many lawyers and made sure it's everything perfect. But other than that, I like to shoot very freestyle and improvise, and so there are many scenes which are improvised here, especially his drinking scenes and all. And if you read the final script, and you will realize the film is pretty different from that, because when we found the locations, and I realized, okay, maybe I should change a bit towards the end. So we changed a lot while shooting. So I don't like to restrict myself, I have to shoot whatever is written. So we were shooting like a kind of documentary, going around, running around, shooting. And in kind of editing, I figured out the film.
And did you feel safe on set, being able to improvise? Did you have rehearsals beforehand?
I don't like rehearsal.
Yeah, we didn't do rehearsal. Yeah.
Okay.
We just did like one day, sit everyone as if there's a court in a room, and just did one scene. Now that's it. Just to feel like what it feels like to be sit in a courtroom. Sorry.
No. It's yeah.
Would you like to say anything though about improvisation? Were there scenes that you?
No, I get used to it. I've been working with the Asian directors last couple of years, and they love doing improvisation. So I love that style. So yeah.
And this final scene, I mean, boy, the final scene with her.
Oh,
with
the
Kana
scene,
in
yeah.
prison, yeah.
Mm.
Did you know exactly what you were going to do?
If she didn't give me the reason, just give me the reason not to kill you. That's all I have.
I mean, the scene when they both met each other first time.
Yes.
Oh yes, yeah, that was pretty interesting. We were supposed to shoot that before, but we lost the time, so we booked the location again to shoot that particular scene. So it was for good, because it was moved in the end, and by the time they both were finished the whole film, and they were really into properly in the character. And so what you see in the film is like a first takes, both of them. We shot 2-3 takes with different angles, but I end up using their first takes.
The first take.
Yeah. Actually, most of the quotes everywhere, most of the first takes are used in the film. Only his hand part was a bit technical. The blood was not coming out, so that took us really long time to it was really annoying, because somehow it was just not coming out.
And also the on the river, the glass releasing scene, I took a lot.
Oh yeah.
All hands.
They were really hard, because there was sunrise. We can't see we couldn't see the glass where it's going, and so yeah.
What made the parents come to believe Fukuda's story? Did Fukuda really mean it?
Fukuda?
Fukuda is
Kana
probably Kana.
Sorry again?
Kana Fukuda.
Yes. What made the parents come to believe her story?
So,
I mean, do you really think I believe that? That's a question.
I mean, it's a pretty interesting question, and whoever asked this is actually very interesting, because as I mentioned again in the script, if you read the script, it's actually about forgiveness, and in the end he forgives her and whatever. But while shooting, I don't know, I just kept thinking about, that's not possible. If it happened with me, I can never do this. I can never forgive anyone. So the way we shot, we start taking two takes in a different moods. So in the editing, for example, the final verdict, when she's in the front of the judge and she's talking about the parole and everything, and we shot a take where she was smiling, like the typical courtroom drama, you smile and in the end you're happy because you're going out. But I asked her to do another take of just no emotions and just straight. And then we found this very interesting door which had this small block, so which was not in the script again. So I shot his different kind of expressions there, just so that. So it has a small hint in the film, kind of. Some people believe like he forgave her, but it's like, okay, I'll wait for you outside, kind of thing.
And what do you think? Does he forgive her?
Yeah, words is just words, right? I mean,
yeah. Or
even though my ex-wife said, we're done, and after the the scene, that's how do you say this? she said it's done, but she was, following me at the end. So, we never know.
Yeah,
Even the alcoholic people, he said, okay, I quit alcohol, and,
actually,
maybe, yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's a documentary called Teenage Killers of Japan. I think it's done by Vice, or not sure. In that documentary, you will see there's a father who every day drives to a school and parks his car, in front of the school door. And when the kids are coming out, he looks at them because one of the kid killed his son. So every day, like every single day, he will go there, park there, and just look at the kid there. So that was very, in a way, kind of scary. So that was, I also kept that in mind for the final scene while shooting that scene. It's a very interesting documentary.
So you mentioned 99% conviction rate in Japan.
Yep.
Are they still putting children into jail for this length of time?
I mean, it's not like they're putting children in the jail. Of course, if somebody have done something, but even if they have kind of doubt, if they are sure that they can convict them, they will definitely put them inside, And about the juvenile system, actually last year they changed the rule to 20 years of age. Before it was 18, and similar.
So before it was 18,
yeah.
And Kana was of course 17 when she was put away.
Yeah,
right?
and so she was supposed to
now
come
it's
out after
20.
18, but as we mentioned, the judge was a bit biased, and he gave her longer term. That's why they filed for the retrial, and. So there were only 2 or 3 cases like this which happened before. The minors got like 20 years. It was a really crazy case happened before. I think Junko Furuta, I think the girl, she got 20-year prison time, and then there's another case happened, and he got 15 years and then 12 years. So that's why I said, okay, I'm not. I want to base this upon some true stuff. So yeah.
Shogen, did it affect your? I know it affected you while you were filming. Did it affect your feelings about fatherhood, or? Are you a father, Shogen?
No, I wasn't. During the filming, but my wife is pregnant right now, and. I'll be father in October, so thank you. So if we start shooting this film again, or if Anshul gonna start sequel of this film, the motivation will be totally different.
Yeah, your perspective will certainly
perspective.
change.
Yeah.
And I don't have kids, but I have a cat who I really like. So I always thought if someone do something to this cat, I don't know. I really love him. So.
Right, that's a threat that I think that, yeah. And your cat is how old? It's very young, right?
About to be 2 in September. September 11, yeah.
So don't mess with the cat. So do you have plans to distribute in North America? You have...
Good question. I have to ask my sales agency. Fume-san is based in UK. So yeah, we have a distribution in Europe, like Spain, Germany, and I guess UK and some Northern European countries, but not sure about US. I hope someone picks up.
Thank you all so much for coming and staying for this special session.
Thank you so much. So before you guys leave, I just want to mention I brought some special theatrical release posters, kind of a mini posters, flyers, 30 of them. And if anyone wants them, just take from me in the Matsuri.
This is the original Japanese poster. It's got that look. Look.
Yeah, in Japan, these small flyers are very popular because every film has to, do this. So everyone picks it up from the theater.
So please join us at the Matsuri, and maybe you'll be a lucky recipient of one of these.
They're only 30, so whatever.
Thank you again
so
much.
much.
Anshul Chauhan.
Thank you so much.
Shogen.